Well, I got my little high pressure nitrogen cylinder built, and right now I got it inside the forward ram cup to get my end distances measurements for the max compression to well, it's not quite 1 inch, it's only about 3/4 of an inch of that shaft of that high pressure nitrogen cylinder I built, that I got to cut down my spring and calculate how much spring I can fit in that area and fill that space from the forward ram cup to the top of my nitrogen cylinder. The cylinder right now I refrigerated in my cooler overnight to get it as full of air, highest density I can. And here, let me show you. And when I get ready, after this is all assembled, I'll buy some wart remover nitrogen in a can and charge the cylinder through the back of the gun. But here's my high pressure little nitrogen cylinder. There's the fill valve in the back. And it'll build about 800 to 1,000 psi in that little cylinder with that wart remover freeze off. It's liquid nitrogen in a can, and it comes with a little stem that'll go right in this one-way valve I built. It's waxed just to get a better seal, and it's all waxed so it's lubricated. But yep, that's the high pressure secret right there. That's it. That's my home built nitrogen charged cylinder, and right now it's under pushes in about, just from refrigerating it in a cooler overnight and then letting it suck in as much air through the check valve before I waxed it. I put a BB in there and a little spring, a piece of an airbrush that I tore apart that I happen to have. Makes a good valve, and a fill valve. So when I put the liquid nitrogen squirted in there, the tube will push in through the wax and open the little BB, and the little liquid nitrogen will almost go in there. And liquid nitrogen is what you want because it's the highest expansion of all liquids to gas. 1 cubic foot will expand to 967 cubic feet of gas, which builds very high pressure very quickly, with very little bit. The hotter this cylinder gets, the farther that gas expands, so the higher pressure it produces. So you'd never get this thing together if that was charged. So because right now it pushes in, probably, I don't have a scale to press against, but just from the pressure I feel, I think it's about 100 psi building up in there as you compress it with just the air in there. But it'll be a lot better when I charge her up with the nitrogen when I get her all together. But that's the secret. And right now I'm just getting my spring distances on both sides of the cylinder ram figured out. Get my measurements inside the cup. See how nice that all fits together. And here's a little secret. To figure out how many little coils you can fit in an inch, you take a piece of the spring I cut off and you wind it inside the other, take a bread tie and go, wow, that's how many coils I can fit in an inch. Wow. Without the spring bottoming out. You got to make sure your springs don't bottom out on both ends of the ram, because otherwise it won't cock to where the trigger's got to catch the forward ram cup, and it would never cock and you'd never be able to arm the weapon. But anyways, this is the key right here, this high pressure nitrogen cylinder I designed out of a solder sucker and a lot of little fabricating, hand doing out here in my little tent in the woods. I mean, I ain't got no machine shop or nothing, but you'd be surprised what I can do with very little. I built aircraft out of almost nothing and flew them. But anyway, hey, I'll show you more when she's done.